So, hey guys, it's Miss Burp, and I'm here with
PB.
Woo!
Hello.
So, new episode. After Where Dad Came, Chris Master, and I was right. Let's get that something straight. I was right. This was a Christmas episode. I mean, Chris Master. Like looking back on it, it was kind of obvious because it's not. Why would you call it Chris Master?
Wait, what's the title in French?
I don't know.
Because it's Noel,
Yeah.
right? It's not Christmas, so I'm like curious.
That's an interesting question. I don't know because it came out in English first, right?
Yeah.
So, maybe see what they do for the French version. But I mean, his name is Chris, so if you translate it to French, Chris. Maybe they'll make it like Jour du Chris or something.
Oh, maybe.
And then anyway, so my first reaction to it, I was kind of like, I was entertained. You, on the other hand, you were just like, no, what is this garbage?
No.
Okay, maybe not that strong, but still, you were.
It was kind of like first watch. I was tired, and I was like, it's boring.
Okay, you were bored by it. I thought it was like.
No, but like. In part, it's because I think I was tired because I was rewatching this morning, and I was like, okay, no, it's entertaining. Stuff happens. Like,
yeah. I think it was just like the psychedelic effect. Like, okay, now we're doing this. Okay, now there's like toys everywhere. And I was also entertained by like the voice actors they used and everything. So for me, I was like, okay, this is fun. And that's it. So we were talking before, and I was like, what's a Chris Master? And I was like, is it Christmas? And that's it. So if you guys don't know, this was originally supposed to be the Christmas episode. And so Thomas Hetrick made this, and then Jeremy Zag was like, no, this ain't Christmassy enough. So Thomas made a Christmas episode, Père Noël, Santa Claus, whatever you want to call it. So he made that instead, and that one is a musical number, which you still haven't watched.
I still haven't watched it. I'm like,
so,
people in their comments are going to be like, what?
I think we mentioned that before, though. And, I just forgot or something. Didn't you? That you didn't watch it?
I think I mentioned it before,
yeah, and you still haven't watched it. Christmas passed, and you still haven't watched it. And you're asking, should I watch it? It's just, cartoon episodes, it's always all of a sudden it's snowing, and it's never snowing in any other episode, and there's Santa Claus is gonna show up, and somebody's gonna learn the value of, gifts or whatever. They don't do that, actually, but...
Okay.
It's still... So, right into the episode, we meet Chris.
Yes.
Nino's brother.
Yes.
He's annoying.
A brat.
He's just a brat with his voice.
His voice is
the kind that grinds,
Yeah. That's the word. It grinds.
So it's
And he's so misbehaved. I was like,
I want to play this violent video game.
No.
Well, Meredith tried to make him watch a show about potatoes, so you gotta give him a little bit of credit.
She was being too extreme. It's not obviously don't let him play the violent video game, but this show about potatoes, come on.
Yes, he's totally gonna be entertained by a show about potatoes, and
maybe she's entertained by a show about potatoes.
She likes this little kid show, and she's like, no, it's okay, it's fun, it's fine. So then he tries to, after his little screaming match with Marinette, he decides to try to open her toy chest thing.
Oh, yeah.
With Adrian's next 35 gifts.
Yeah. I get where they were going with it, but it's too far.
It would have...
Way too far.
Anything could have worked except for maybe that.
Yeah.
Well,
that just seems so creepy.
It's funny, though. Okay, honestly, though, when I was watching this, you could maybe make an argument or, a theory that this entire episode is an acid trip. It's just a dream.
Okay.
You can maybe because... That's unrealistic, right? The way that, when I was watching this episode, I was like, this is totally a dream, And the way that Cat Noir acts in this episode, it's also kind of off.
Okay.
And then there's a whole thing with, Chris Master and the way that how everything reacts to it. Maybe, I can talk a little bit about that later. But I was thinking maybe this entire episode is just a dream. Which would then explain why her toy chesting is so extreme because 35 years is...
Yeah.
Like, I could see it. It's in the same vein as the shows, like, pushing for her fangirling. But, like, that's just... What if his taste changed? What if he decides not to be a model anymore?
Exactly.
It's just weird.
Also, like, whenever I try to buy gifts, it's always, like,
How
a
do you
struggle.
How do you buy a gift? Like, how do you know? Well, I mean, she does stalk him.
Yeah, but... Exactly, it just makes it seem creepier. Like...
She knows.
Like, if she'd had maybe 2 or 3 gifts, right, I'd be like, okay, that's acceptable, I guess. But 30...
You could just, like, fill up the chest with, like, magazines or something.
Maybe she hid away all of his pictures in the chest.
Or she, like, steals stuff from him, and that's just, like, her collection of stuff that she stole.
And she's gonna give them back to him as a gift.
She's just like, hey, by the way, I found your thing 35 years ago. Anyway. So maybe I might actually make a video, like, talking about how this...
Okay.
Like, how the dream elements come in. Because even then, it's not entirely clear. Or whatever, even at the end. So Marinette decides to, like, oh, I'm a Christmas elf. And Santa Claus is only gonna give a gift to the nicest kid. And that's Ladybug.
Whoa.
You have any... Is Ladybug the nicest kid? Because she, like... The whole thing with Lila, she was a jerk. I mean, she said sorry afterwards, but, like, unless the sorry, like, compensates for it, she's done some bad stuff, you know, like...
I mean, she apologizes and realizes it's wrong, but still, she's not the best behaved kid in the whole world.
Just because you got superpowers doesn't mean that you're the best behaved kid. I mean, that just means that you have the superpowers. Just, if, like, a police officer, he does his job. He's still a good kid, but he's older.
Yeah, when, that reminds me of, like, near the end, when Santa Claus says, like, yeah, Ladybug, blah, 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 and then she's like, yeah, I'm the best behaved kid in the world, and then Cat Noir just looks at her like, right.
What about me? What about Cat Noir? Like, he does, it's not his, like, he's just second fiddle. Anyway, he's
poor boy.
Cat Noir, Adrian. He always gets pushed to the side.
He always gets pushed
to the side. The poor man. Boy, teenager. Anyway, so he does that thing, and then he starts throwing a tantrum.
Yeah.
And he goes home. So get rid of him.
I find it so funny though that like Alia and Nino come home. Chris starts crying, and they're just like, "Yeah, no, Marinette has nothing at all to do with this."
Nothing. Well, I mean, it's a kid, right?
Yeah.
How old is he though? He's like...
I don't know.
And then they're, like, picking him up and everything.
He looks big to be picked up.
So then Marinette sees, like, all the toys come to life. So then Marinette sees it and is like, oh, I'm just gonna go back to bed.
This is a dream.
You know, like, when you're Ladybug, can you really afford to just... Like, what if she had gone back to bed?
Oh.
It's like...
Cat Noir would have had to fend for himself.
Good! Great! Let's get a Cat Noir only episode.
Let's do that.
So what did you think of the toys marching around? I found it because there's, like, the toy soldiers. And then it was Keith Silverstein that was, like, the general, or, like, the guy who does Hawkmoth's voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was him. So I thought it was funny.
Okay.
I thought it was funny when it was him. And the teddy bear, the guy that voices him is the same guy that does Nino's voice.
Oh.
But he does that voice, because I used to watch a show called Tenkai Nights.
Okay.
And he did, like, the exact same voice, basically, for one of the characters. So for me, I was like, oh, yeah, I get to, like, call back to my previous joys. Anyway. So anyway, for me, I was, like, entertained by that, for that factor of the toy. So maybe for you didn't like that as much or whatever.
I just didn't really recognize the voices. I didn't really know.
So for you just saw, like, the toys.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, toys.
Toys marching around. Flying fish.
It was a bit of a reminder to Toy Story, though. Like, the little marching soldiers.
I mean, it's...
Like, to me, it was kind of like, hey.
Hey, Toy Story. Remember that? And the Toy Story 4 coming out in, like, summer.
Ugh, I'm worried.
You're worried?
Yeah, I don't know what to expect. The third one was so good, and now...
Do you think that they're going to make the fourth one bad?
Like, not bad necessarily, but it's just not going to be up to the standard.
Did you see the Super Bowl ad?
Yeah.
To
Nothing happened.
Yeah, but then you got a little too fluffy. Thanks. But yeah, it's like nothing.
Anyway, we're getting way off track.
So I mean, this is like, so then the shift. It's like they just throw us into the episode.
Yes.
So if this episode had come out during like Christmas time, like like the original air date, that would have been like the equivalent of like Sandboy, you know, where it's just like, oh, we're just thrown into the episode, no like previous what do you call that? Like premise, like basic story, like, oh, Marinette's going to school and she gets mad, you know?
Well, it's not exactly the same as Sandboy, because in Sandboy we don't really know why the person is like,
we don't get to see the
acclimatized and whatnot. And here we do see like where it comes from. Like we don't see the moment, but we do see like the leading up to. But I get what you're saying though.
But it's true though that we do. But maybe it's just like the feeling, the overall feeling was different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're right. So what does she do? She goes to Cat Noir.
She's like, I'm gonna go to sleep. Then
Tiki's like, no, you wake up. These are actual people.
And then I think someone says Chris Master, and then she's like, oh.
Oh, is it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I watched this once, okay?
Something happens, and she was like, oh. Well, she, like, realized that it wasn't a dream or something. I don't know.
She shoots Ladybug, she fights Cat Noir, and they're like, we gotta fight Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So, okay, so then basically everything kind of follows according to, like, his dream. So what Marinette told him, it's like, so Santa Claus, he now exists.
Yes.
Which falls into the same vein as, like, the previous Christmas, well, like, the real Christmas episode, where it was like, Santa Claus, like, they're treating him as real, but he's not really real. So it's like so like if you show this to a kid, they might like not stop believing in Santa Claus or whatever, because they neither confirm nor deny that he exists.
He's just there for a while, but you don't know if it's...
You don't know if he's a real person.
Yeah.
So then we see Philippe Candelero, the ice skater guy.
Yeah.
And then they fight in the ice rink, and Santa Claus is there.
Everyone's slipping around.
There was the part with the slipping around.
That was funny. But, like, Santa Claus was sitting down, he was like, oh, why so much violence or something? Or why so much hate? And everyone's just slipping on the ice, and it's just, like, so ironic. It's funny.
The entire episode is just, it's like making fun of itself almost.
Yeah, I guess so.
So then that's it. So then Cat Noir, so then he's like, oh, why can't you give presents early? So then Philippe is like, why can't you? And then Cat Noir does the exact same thing. So to me, I was looking at that, I was like, that's not Cat Noir. Like, he's acting cartoonish, you know?
Oh, very, very much so. He was kind of childish, just jumping, like, to the same conclusion. Like, yeah, I want my gift. Like, come on, you can probably buy it.
It like, he's rich. But, like, basically, it feels like it could be a dream. Like, everything, Marinette is the only sensible one, and everybody else is just acting off, right?
Yeah.
It might be a dream. I might actually make a video about that and, like, try to break it down or whatever. Maybe rewatch it, and then maybe I'd remember more stuff if I rewatched it.
What happens then?
They, Cat Noir gets taken?
He does get taken, but it's not, like, right there, I don't...
At some point, she goes to go find Santa Claus, and she's like, I'm the best behaved kid, and then he starts repeating everything.
Yeah, and Nino's just standing behind her, like, yeah, that makes sense. That checks out.
There's Nino there, and he couldn't... Okay, if the episode came out before, then he couldn't have turned into Carapace, because he wasn't... Carapace didn't exist at that point, right? So this is, like, earlier in the timeline, basically. And then we never see him again, Chris Master. Yay, we don't get to see Chris anymore. So he gives her the gift of stationery, which is, like...
No, that's the Lucky Charm.
So what was Santa Claus? Santa Claus's gift was...
She did Lucky Charm. She got the little stationery, and she wrote down, like, I want to get the same gift as Chris.
Oh, right.
And then Santa Claus was like, are you sure? I can't give you presents anymore.
It's fine. I know you don't exist. So, where did Cat Noir... Cat Noir wasn't there. He was there. He did the reaction to, like, why is she the best behaved kid?
No, that was after.
That was after.
Yes. Because it's all a mess before.
Is that another clue?
And if it's snowing, why is Nino in a t-shirt?
Because snow is for weak people.
Yeah, cool. And then, I don't know. Do you remember what happens after? Or... Then he gets the... Yeah, then they go up here. He gets the gift.
Oh, and they captured Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. That voice.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's basically more or less, if not, but...
And then Hawkmoth's like, no, get his ring. And yeah. And then, like, fight sequence.
So, let's take off from that point. So, yeah. Basically, it's like remembering. But, what do you think of the Christmaster design?
I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it. It's a little weird. Not very Christmassy.
Is it like an elf design? Is that what they're trying to, like, go for,
maybe.
Like, for the, he has, like, sparkly rock look to him, too.
Yeah.
So, okay, so would you have, if this was the actual, like, would you have rather had this Christmas episode or, like, a very, very Christmassy episode? You haven't even watched it, but, like, but, like, do you think this is a Christmas enough episode?
I think it's a Christmas enough episode, yeah.
I think I think it's better in a certain way that, like, it's not, like, an overtly Christmas episode, just, like, oh, suddenly it's Christmas, you know, and then they're not, like, it's a better episode in that sense.
But I think it would have worked as a Christmas special, because right now, they just dropped it as the 3rd episode of the season, and it just felt completely out of place to me. It was kind of like, Christmas episode?
What is going on
now?
Well, like, maybe just, like, the overall structure for the episode, because it just felt... It just kind of felt like I was on a roller coaster. Just, like, just keep going, and you're just, like, screaming the entire time, and then you just, like, keep going, and it's like, what just happened? Like, what was I watching, you know?
Okay.
So, in a sense, I guess that's good, because it's not, like, a typical episode, so it's not supposed to be a seasonal episode. It's supposed to just be, like, its own thing, which is good, but then if somebody was just to watch that, you don't get anything out of it. You just see...
You wouldn't be very impressed.
You would just see acid trip, right? So, did you notice the animation, by the way?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people were commenting on
the animation
that it looks very smooth or something.
It was smoother, like, because usually they kind of, like, jump a little bit. Like, this one, it was, like, a lot smoother, maybe in some sections, so that was nice. I was like, oh, maybe they gave them more budget, like, they gave them more budget for, like, the show, so maybe they're gonna make it look nicer now. So maybe that's just a one-time thing, though, so that's...
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they had more time to work on it, since it was the original Christmas episode.
Like, to spend more time rendering it, or maybe they just were like, oh, Christmas episode, let's make it look nice, but they're like, no. Maybe. Anyway, so at the end of their fight, they have to fight. They fight themselves, and then they fight a robot.
Yep.
And then Marinette's like, no, Chris, give up your miraculous. That way, what was the counteroffer?
Because Cat Noir was on the giant robot with Cataclysm. And she was like, either give me the snowball, or Cat Noir destroys your robot. So basically, blackmail.
But it's not even blackmail, because if you do destroy it, then... it disappears. Like, by giving the snow globe, it'll destroy it. The toy
disappears.
By using Cataclysm. So either way, he was gonna lose. So there's...
Oh, no.
He could just make himself another one. Hold on to your Kuma. And then make another one, okay? Or did he have to have the...
No, he had to have the toy.
He had to have the physical toy. So he couldn't have made another one, because he had to...
Like, the robot one was the gift from Santa.
And then that's what he used to make the bigger toy, maybe? So he had to have, like, a physical version first. Okay, so then so either way, he was gonna lose. So there was... Anyway.
Oh, that's so sad. They just used him. They
just used him. And he gets to wait till Christmas now for his present. And so this is the first villain to give up their Akuma willingly.
Yeah.
More or less. Like, he gave the snow globe.
Yeah.
In exchange. So, maybe Hawkmoth will learn one day that kids... Well, I mean, the Puppeteer was pretty good villain.
Oh, yeah.
Puppeteer for the win! But like, you know, like a giant baby.
Giant baby.
The giganta. You know, like that. So maybe Hawkmoth. Anyway, Hawkmoth will do what he wants. He can lose. How does the episode end?
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's now I'm a big kid, so now you're gonna chill or something.
No, like she babysits him again, and he's like, "Yeah, I know, I was being annoying or whatever," and yeah, it was just kind of. He was like, "Yeah, my mom said that I was misbehaving and that I shouldn't lie, but you still got a secret." And then Marinette's like, "Oh my god, what? Like a secret identity?" And
What secret?
and then Chris is like, "No, I want to know what's in that." Like,
well, there's this guy. No, I don't want to hear anything about it. And he just starts flipping out.
And then she's like, "Yeah." She starts saying even more romantic stuff and following him around, and I'm like, "Stop torturing the kid."
That's cool though. That's a nice enough ending.
Yeah.
So for me, like, the entire episode, I was just, like, the entire time I was entertained. Like, it's like, well, what's gonna happen next? You know, it's just like, okay. But it's maybe not the best episode because it's just so weird.
Yeah.
But it's entertaining. It's a distraction.
Sure.
You know? I mean, tonight we're gonna have Backworder.
Back what?
Backward.
Oh. Okay.
So Backworder. So new episode, so it's not gonna take long before we get like an actual episode. So
yeah. Do we know who's getting akumatized in this episode?
You can maybe look it up in the synopsis, but don't do that. In like all the synopsis for the episodes and whatnot. Okay. So
might be spoilery.
It reveals basically who's getting akumatized maybe each time. Yeah. So I'm not gonna tell you anything. If you don't know, I read part of it, right? I skimmed through it, so something like that. So I know some of them, but I'm just just don't look at it. Don't look at it. Don't spoil yourself.
I'm not gonna look at it.
One day I have to maybe make a video on that. Like, just don't spoil yourself, people. Anyway,
well, if they want to. As long as they don't complain afterwards and then they're like, "Oh no, I shouldn't have seen it." Like,
but it makes a better fandom experience. You know, everybody gets to be happy together.
Yeah.
In the end, everybody together.
But small spoilers, small
teasers.
Spoilers. Yeah, teasers.
Anyway, overall thoughts, the animation was like, oh, it's nice to have a better animation. Mm-hmm. It would be cool if they just kept going with that for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
If not, it was a weird episode. Cool, we got it. Okay. We know now. So, yeah, I would say 5 on 10.
That seems fair.
Is that like as low as we used to go with like Captain Hard Rock, the first one that we did the episode review on? What do you think?
I think at first I was like thinking about like, oh, what's my rating gonna be? Because I was like, I don't want to be too harsh. I was like, okay, maybe I could give it a 6, but no, 5 seems fair. 5 seems
do a
fair.
5. So I'll do Backworder next week or something, because we're gonna have 2 episodes, Backworder and something else. Is it Bakerix?
Oh, we're getting 2 episodes?
Well, there's one on Thursday.
Okay.
There's tonight and there's Thursday, so we get 2 episodes, man.
Ooh.
So, Miraculous Ladybug, here we come. So, thanks for watching, guys. Anything else to say, or you just...
Thanks for listening.
Listening! And when's your book channel or YouTube channel coming, huh?
Oh, God, I don't know.
No?
Not anytime soon. No, because...
After university applications, after...
Probably, like, after I'm done with, like, my IA project, maybe.
After school and everything.
Yeah, I don't even have, like, a camera or the things that I could use. So I'm just
you don't need no camera. You can, like, type or whatever.
Then I could just make a vlog.
Make a vlog if you want. It's like, today I read this book. It was boring. So,
I do that, but like in my journal, I'm like, I read this book, and then like I write what I thought of it.
see, you're already a critique. There you go.
I'm already doing it, guys.
All right, so we'll listen, not see you guys, but video.
Talk to you
we'll
later.
video you guys later. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. I don't know why I'm waving.
Yeah, wave to them.